dear viewers, and welcome to a new edition of our program Body and Soul. And I wish everyone watching us a very happy feast. We are going to talk today about the feasting traditions and habits, and to shed light about the habits of the feasts. We are very much delighted to have our dear guest in the studio, Dr. Nabih Abdelhamid, the Director of Food Safety Information Center. Hello, Dr. Nabih, and thank you for being our guest for today.
Happy year for everybody and happy feast.
Happy feast, Dr. Nabih. Dr. Nabih, why do people celebrate occasions around food and it actually feels great?
Well, everybody is enjoying eating food, not only for its benefit to keep sustainability of the body, and the requirements we need comes from food. We need calories, we need protein, we need minerals and vitamins to be alive. And at the same time, we enjoy eating the food itself because of the taste, flavor, and even color and texture. All this is a quality system which attracts us to the food itself.
Indeed.
And when we eat the food in a good occasions, all the time have the good occasion related and linked with type of food.
Yes.
And besides, we have a good people eating with us,
to share.
Our lovers, our people, our family.
Yes.
This is all the time create happiness and enjoyable time.
Dr. Nabih, that would bring me to ask, why do people tend to eat more during the gatherings than just being alone at home?
That is almost when you are in a group, you are eating more, and it is some kind of...
And it's tastier.
Yes, all the time. But it's not good for the obese people. We don't like the obese people.
And the non-obese people will be obese also. And of course, with the occasions and the celebration and the feast, people should be aware of what do they eat, because they might gain weight.
All the time they gain weight.
It's quite alarming. So what should we be doing in order to be quite maybe cautious while eating during the feasts?
During the feast, Eid al-Adha al-Mubarak, Eid al-Fitr Mubarak, we were fasting for 1 month completely in Ramadan, and we have a calculated amount of calorie, and all the time we have diversity of food in 2 meals only, and the amount of calorie derived from fat also fixed to about between 25 to 35% as whole of type of calorie derived from fats. And if we go for Eid al-Fitr, we will have kahk, we will have ghurayba, we will have a lot of baking products which contain more than 50% of its weight fat.
Fat and sugar.
Fat and sugar.
Yes.
Fat is more complex. It is, each gram of fat produces 9 kilocalories, and each gram of sucrose and carbohydrate produce 4 only.
Yes.
So if we have 50% of the total weight of the cakes or any baked product from fat, and have 100 gram, each 50 gram will provide us with 50 by 9, it will be more than 400.
So we really have to be cautious regarding...
we have to be cautious by that. We can eat, but not eat much.
Yes.
And also, beside eating this kind of baked product, we should have also fruits and vegetables and salad, because it will diminish the amount of other things we eat all the time.
Yes, and we'll be back to talk, Dr. Nabih, about the habits of the grand feast or the feast of sacrifice. But first, we'll take this report. In the Muslim world today, 2 holidays are celebrated: the smaller Eid or feast after the holy month of Ramadan, and Eid al-Adha. The day begins with morning prayers. The celebrations continue with visits to family and friends, and the exchange of gifts and exchange of greetings during the feast. Here is a closer look with Samah al-Sharif.
Any occasion through feasts and gather over dinner tables, and the Muslim smaller and bigger feasts are no exception. According to the lunar year, which the Muslim calendar follows, the smaller feast takes place first. After a whole month of fasting from dusk to dawn, people start the day with prayers and breakfast is served at daylight. In many Muslim countries, special sweets are made, especially for the occasion. They are high in carbs, sugar, and fats, and very tasty. But a sudden change to a different and unhealthy eating pattern can lead to health problems and ruin all the fun and celebrations of this wonderful event. Some ways to stay healthy on Eid days include having a light breakfast, refraining from junk food, eating light food, eating in smaller proportions, having low sweets on Eid day. Similar advices may be applied to have healthy eating habits during the feasting of Eid al-Adha, the bigger Bayram or feast for Muslims. The traditions during the first day of the bigger feast start with special prayers for the occasion, then the slaughter of a sheep following suit of Prophet Abraham, and family gatherings over lunch and dinner, of course, are common. There are also special advices for how we eat during this time of year, when high protein and somewhat fatty foods are being served. Doctors say we need to pay attention to cooking techniques, portion control, and so on. We must preserve food diversity for healthy, sufficient, and balanced nutrition. It is crucial to consume lighter foods in moderation, not only for the main meal, but also for snacks during family and friends visits. Some doctors point out to one of the most common mistakes made as eating the sacrificed animal meat immediately after being slaughtered and even for breakfast. They say slaughtered meat has to be set aside for at least 12 to 24 hours before consumption to avoid digestive system problems. Thus, nutritionists say feasting can be done without paying the price of eating wrong, just with some modifications.
And welcome back, our dear viewers, continuing about the habits of the feasts. And of course, we are going to tackle now the feast of sacrifice or Eid al-Adha and the traditions and the habits that we are doing during that important Muslim event.
It is a very important event, and we have a lot of meat inside every home at everybody. But we should know that the amount of meat we eat, and it is a source of protein, very important. We need it really, but we need it with a very little amount.
Yes.
So each kg of body weight from the adults need between 0.6 or 0.8 gram for each 1 kg.
Yes.
And for the children, they need up to 2 grams. So the amount of meat we need per day, it shouldn't exceed 200 grams.
Okay.
And 200 grams is big also. It should be 150
It's
or something.
for any age, for both male and
children,
females?
Yes, the same. Not much difference.
No, I don't mean children. I mean for the adults at all the age brackets?
Not change. And we should know that the extra amount of meat will not keep in the body to be used for second day. It is not stored like fat and like carbohydrate. So we should eat only what we need today, because the rest will be goes to the urinary and will go and we will have a big work on the renal, and this will not be good for the body itself.
Yes, so maximum 200 grams of meat per day.
Because of the feed should be 100, 150. But because of the feast, it could be 200.
We will give permission with amount
for 24 hours, not only for the meat.
Yes, and not for 4 days, just 1 day.
1 day.
Yes.
And also we should have the liver and the other things from the...
It's in the 200 grams.
Yes, it is.
So but it's not 200 grams of meat and 200 grams of liver?
We should calculate it all over 24 hours. Because the rest would not be used.
Yes.
It will be used as calorie source only.
Yes.
So if we have 1 gram cost how much kg of meat, and how much kg of flour. We can compare.
Yes.
Because if we go to use the meat as a source of calorie, it is very expensive economically.
Of course. Yes.
And we don't need it.
So, because we do have some traditions, so we do go to the family gatherings, so we can find meat, we can find fatta, liver.
Good, but we should diminish the amount of meat, and we can keep it in freezer. We can keep it under minus 18 for more than 8 months. No problem for that.
Yes.
And we can also distribute it to our labor.
The idea here, Dr. Nabih, and I think you understand what I mean, that we are invited in a family gathering or an invitation because of the feast.
It is a good occasion.
Yes, but we do eat a lot.
We eat a lot.
In celebration.
In this case, we have to exercise to burn some calories, which are eat more. But we should be drinking a lot of fluid, especially water, to help the renal function, also to get rid of the uric acid and the other things comes out from the protein of meat.
Dr. Nabih, that would bring me to ask about the meat itself. Should we be consuming lamb, veal, beef, or they are equal?
All of them is good. And our layery taste of meat, all type of meat in Egypt is very good.
Yes.
Because we have...
Because one of... maybe the lamb might have higher fats, or they are almost equal.
But don't keep watching that, because it is one month or two, something like that.
Yeah.
So the amount will not affect the body, but we talk about the total. We talk about the amount we need.
Yeah.
Don't take a lot. Don't take. Some people eat half kilos, and some people eat more than that.
Yes.
So, but the taste is good. Everything is good. Are celebrating, but we should celebrate. But don't hurt yourself.
Yes. Sir, what food here we should not be consuming during the feasts?
Well, we shouldn't consume also the fatty components in fatta.
Yes.
We can add
because there are some kind of foods during during the Eid al-Adha is quite heavy, like maybe the fat of the lamb.
Yes, we shouldn't eat
the sheep itself.
No, that's not good. We should avoid
some people do use the fat of the sheep to cook also.
I know that, but it shouldn't be done by this way. We can keep it for all the year round.
All year.
So we can use only half gram, 150 grams, something like that.
Yes.
And it will not affect the body. And at the same time, we should eat fruits and vegetables with a good amount. We can have also the traditional beverages. It's very good to have it. And the germinated legumes like germinated faba bean and fenugreek.
Yes.
It is very good because it produces a lot of enzyme system inside the germinated component, and will help for digestion and good to provide the body with many vitamins.
Yes. Dr. Nabih, what about the greens like the parsley, the celery? Some people do say
good. Celery is good.
We can eat it raw in order to diminish the amount of fats absorbed by the body.
Yes, it helps also for the activation of the urination system and activate taking more uric acid from the blood to be outside through the renal activity.
Yes. And we do find a lot when we go to a grilling restaurant or a restaurant which is offering grilled meat or whatsoever, that they do a bed of parsley under
that's a very good idea.
It's for a certain point to be eaten, not only as decoration.
Not decoration, should be eaten. It helps to activate the activity of renal system the exercise, the uric acid, the increased amount of uric acid good outside the body. So it is very good.
Yes. Sir, of course, after eating such a heavy meal, some of us tend to drink all of a sudden, or right after the meal, a cup of tea in order to digest.
It could be green tea.
But the normal tea is quite...
Should be delayed for 1 hour or something. And they shouldn't also drink any type or any type
any
of
fizzy
drinks.
drink.
No, don't. Because it has CO2 inside, it has phosphoric acid, it had a lot of amount with which is really
Harmful
for the body.
So that is a very important point that you have raised, Dr. Nabi, the fizzy drinks, which should be avoided actually for our health.
Should be avoided not only in the feast all the time. We can go for the fresh juices, we can prepare
or water.
Or water much better.
Of course.
Because if we are going to have fluid, the water should be 70% of the total fluid for the person a day.
How, Dr. Nabi, our bodies do respond to the sudden diet change during the time of the feasts?
We'll get a shock.
Yes, indeed.
Especially after having a good month like Ramadan, having a very because having a certain time for meat, for having meal, and having a system for 1 month, a good system for the body, and then suddenly we change everything.
Yes.
Having 5 meals a day.
And I do believe that we do mess a lot also during Ramadan. Sir, does it differ from one person to another, the response of such nutritious shock?
Well, some people who are used to eat a lot of time, they don't have this kind of a shock, but it is for everybody. Everybody will feel it.
Yeah.
And of course, we shouldn't increase or double the amount of calorie suddenly from 2,000 to 4,000.
Yes, indeed. How does the style of food consumption during the feast do impact the spiritual and the religious practices that we should be doing?
Well, sacrificing also something you have to do it if we have enough money to buy it. It is very expensive now, but it is one of our religious things that we can follow up. And in the same time, we had to distribute 1/4 of the amount, 1/3 of what we have killed at home to the poor people, and 1/3 for our friends. So it creates some kind of friendship between people and strengthen the relation between family.
Yes.
And also it is very important to implement this kind of religious things.
Sir, back to the food consumption during Eid al-Adha, because when we tend to eat a lot of meat and a lot of the items that we do tend to eat during Eid al-Adha, we forget to consume fruits or vegetables or salads because we are so maybe excited to eat such kind of food that we do not eat a lot during year long.
Monitoring the food consumption better in Egyptian people, the person should supposed to have at least 500 grams of both fruits and vegetables a day, but they do take not more than 50 grams.
Yes.
As a mean amount. 50 grams, it should be 500. So we already had the problem with the amount of fruits and vegetables in our food consumption better. We should improve it not only in the feast, but all over the year. It is one of the issues which will improve many things, like anemic children, like stunted children, and also the problem with the obesity will be having a solution.
So, Dr. Nabi, what would be your advice for the best diet during the feasts that we do celebrate?
During the feast, we had to calculate the amount of meat we are eating, and also go for a good balanced amount of calorie coming derived from fat and other things. And we should consider it also to have a fruit and vegetable all over our meals, all the day. And if we have the germinated legumes, like fenugreek or faba bean, it could be also cooked. and it could be eaten at the night or something
Yes.
to complete digestion and to be improving the system inside the body.
Yes, Dr. Nabi, we cannot deny that Eid also is linked to outings and going out, and sometimes the kids or the youngsters tend to go for fast food.
Fast food is a very bad habit, and I've been in Egypt for a long time now, and the impact of it is had a boost now in the children in the school.
Because now to boost the mood of a child, maybe...
Well, if it is for the feast time, it is okay to keep him.
But how dangerous is it to consume fast food?
But fast food, we should improve the system and the amount they offer to the children. And in the States now, they are diminish the amount of calorie, and they increase the amount of salad coming from this fast food. They order them to do that because of the benefit of the children. And also they reduce the amount of the
fizzy drinks.
Yes, they eliminate completely. They only offer water, and even in the school, they don't buy this kind of beverages. They only have water inside it.
Yes.
So we can also ask this people who offer the fast food to improve the composition and the content. But we can't.
What are the harms here?
The harms, they took a lot of calorie, not balanced, coming from fats, most of it fats, and some of it carbohydrate, but no salad, no fresh product. No,
the content also of the fast food, how dangerous is it?
The content.
The meals,
it is big calorie for one meal.
Not healthy as well.
Not healthy, and give the child a chance to be obese after 1 year or something if he used to eat it every day. So we have this problem now, and we should find a way to get solution for it.
Yes, what about the consumption, sir, also by the kids for candies and sweets? And how dangerous are these candies or
candies
how?
And sweets will also harm their teeth and will have a problem with obesity also. We shouldn't add more than the amount we need. We need only 2,000 calories for the children, or 2,500 if he's big adult, and we need to have 50% of it coming from protein, 25 to 30 coming from fat, and the rest from carbohydrate. Carbohydrate means all this type, sugars beside rice, beside bread, beside all these things. And the most problems coming from white sugar, white flour, white salt. So 3 white things is very bad.
That we should be avoiding.
It should be avoided and decrease. We can't eliminate sodium chloride.
Yes.
We use it for bread making, for many things. But we can have it with a modest amount. We shouldn't add more than what we need. We should almost consume between 3 to 5 grams a day for person from sodium chloride.
Can we?
And we should also we shouldn't add any sugar to the tea now, because most of the children had.
What about the usage of brown sugar? Is it harmful as well?
It is good. It is not harmful. It is good, but it should be also. It is sucrose. It had some amount in it from not refined.
Yes.
But it is calories at the end.
Yes.
But we should decrease the amount we add to our
tea or coffee.
Tea, and we will use to it after a while. Because, you know, in the tongue we have cells which can give us what we call it threshold of the taste.
Yes.
If you improve it by decreasing the amount of soluble sugar in the tea, you will used to it after a while.
Yes, indeed. Dr. Nabih Abdel Hamid, Director of the Food Safety Information Center. Thank you very much, sir, for being our guest, and happy feast.
Thank you very much. Happy year and happy Eid.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition of Body and Soul, where we have been talking about the habits of the feast. Hope you have enjoyed it. Until we meet again, I'm Histi Rabia, wishing everyone a happy feast, and I'm signing off for now.